So today we're doing a video that's a future Resident Evil remakes predictions about what remakes they might be doing and what those remakes might entail for the game. But really quickly before we get into this, one very quick ad for my Steam game, The Silicon Shadow. Use your glide boots to slide and shoot around through murderous robots, navigate platforming challenges, and explore the dark atmosphere of an early 1900s retro futuristic sci-fi space station. Uncover the truth of its downfall and this fun movement shooter. Okay, back to the game. First one they're most likely to remake is Resident Evil 5. Pretty sure that they skipped Code Veronica when going into 4 because I think they really wanted to get to 5 and 6 because they got the most to fix. 5's good, but it does have a couple of things, but it definitely could be a lot better with the remake. Starting with the big thing that probably a lot of people think about, it could be going to be a problem for the game, is that went over to some more detail in my review of RE5, but it's that RE5 isn't racist, but it is racist looking. So they'll probably definitely gonna have to tackle that a lot. And Resident Evil's been good about not going overboard or underboard when it comes to fixing the mistakes of the past. So I think they'll do good on that. Another thing is that they've done in RE4 and even to extent the 2 and 3 is that need to add more horror atmosphere. We need more horror. We need more nighttime. We need less well lit stuff. There's that movie Beast that did some nice African nighttime shots. Another thing that'd be good is that in single player that they'd be nice if they had like character switching, like maybe some like moments where you gotta play as one character or the other. It'd be nice if there's more of a sort of single player version of the game and a co-op version of the game. The single player has more story and the co-op is more mechanic focused. They probably won't go that far. It'd be nice if the game had a slower opening in single player, at least. Because like in the original, it's just there's sort of Chris rise in Africa, there's zombies, good shooting. That's original RE5. Also, the Chef AI, people said was really bad, but I think was mostly fine. But in terms of AI co-op partners, have really stepped up their game in recent years. So they could definitely do a lot with Sheva and or Chris as AI. They should also step up the set pieces. They're a little too on rails. I think as well as with 6 on this one, they should make it more serious, but not too serious. Again, sort of like they did in RE4. And definitely, overall, number one thing they must keep in the game is Chris has to punch the boulder, or it's just not RE5. It should be giant still. Should make no sense. It just has to happen. So anyway, RE6 out of all these remakes has the hardest job, but also consequently the most to be gained. The story should give more appropriate gravitas to the weight of the plot. When you think about it, like, this is like the worst case scenario of the Resident Evil universe. There's rampant bioweapons being sold worldwide. Umbrella's back. The president dies. These are things that shouldn't be glossed over. And all that being said, a outbreak in China and war in Eastern Europe might be a bit of a problem these days with being a little closer to home, but I don't know. I think they'll make it work. Number one thing is that there should be one campaign, not four, with less repeating story and repeating gameplay. They also need to fix Jake, make him like more redeemed by the end of the story. You can start off a jerk, but he needs to feel more redeemed. It sort of just comes up at the last minute in RE6. And maybe make Helena and Pierce less boring, but maybe even just get rid of them. Maybe that's too much, but there's a lot of opportunity there. Claire would be a really good replacement for Elena. You finally get to see Leon and Claire like actually be together and not just crisscrossing paths in RE2. And there's a whole number of other characters they could bring in for other things. So like it'd be cool to see like a bunch of different cameos sort of. Could have Sheva, Barry, Rebecca, maybe even Ashley make appearances. You know, it should feel like the big story I was going for. Sherry's fine as she was, but the only thing is like maybe make her regeneration thing more important, because that really kind of seemed really weird that that was a background detail in the original. And also make Leon, Chris, and Ada as good as they were in the other games. Don't make Chris a drunk in the beginning for 5 minutes for no reason. And RE6 had a lot of potential in its combat that they really could get into. And I'm going on this of keeping it action focused like in the original, not trying to survival horror it. But that could be another route they take. Because if it goes that route, then it should just be like the other games. But if it wants to be like the original RE6, then they should improve some things. Like, they need to make the diving feel better, and have it stop your movement less. Make the melee less stiff, and don't be constantly running out of stamina. Put more of an emphasis on the quick shots, which I didn't even really realize was much of a thing in the first one. Emphasize how they stun enemies. The enemies can keep having guns, but they should feel more like monsters, to make them not feel like just some dudes who wandered in and out of Call of Duty who happen to turn into monsters. And if we're going action, there should be more enemies, but it's still as easy to take them out, and so it feels like the characters are more experienced, can take on more, but the stakes have also risen. And make the vehicle sections not terrible, but luckily I do think that in the Resident Evil 4 remake, the jet ski section felt like better than even needed to be. So I do sort of wonder if that's like practice for the snowmobile section or something like that. So that's about it for RE6. Next we got Code Veronica. Number one thing is make Steve not garbage. It's just like, I think you have to be almost an unrecognizable character to not be terrible. Which, that's fine. Just do that. Keep Chris as part of the game, but have it like feel less like you're stopping Claire's story somehow. You know, because like it's sort of just like every Chris section is just sort of like a weird interruption in a way, especially at the end. You play most of the game as Claire, and then Chris comes in and kills the final boss. That seems really dumb. Definitely keep the dual wield, aim at two targets guns. That's like the best part of the gameplay. Get rid of the darkness and the lighter stuff. If they want to do that, that has to be perfect, you know. You can't. Lighting mechanics really suck when they're not perfect, you know. Apparently there was like a knife glitch in Code Veronica where Claire's knife would hit more than it was supposed to. So it'd be funny if like they gave her like maybe like say like Leon taught her some knife skills in this one and she can do more knife stuff. Maybe not pairing, but something like that. Maybe she's like actually stabbing them really quick. I don't know. They also need better environments that flow together better and have them less washed out. The topics are decent, but they need to seem like just the main thing is they need to seem in less like just completely different places. Last one is actually sort of a combo. What I think. I think it'd be pretty interesting if they like combined uh sort of like RE1 and Zero as a remake. And maybe make them take place at exactly the same time. That could work. I don't know if that'd be too big, but yeah. But I do think it would mainly be RE1's game. Or maybe Zero's just DLC for RE1. I don't know. But for RE1, there's not really much to change. It'd be sort of like RE2's remake. But one thing right off the bat that would be interesting is if they had like a sort of playable version of the FMV cutscene at the beginning in the original. That'd be a cool intro. You could either do that like a regular gameplay section, but you could maybe like make it like first person and maybe try to make it more hyper realistic with that sort of photo scan sort of stuff. And then it'd be more convincing if they had like a 90s filter on it, sort of. And I would only expect them to use a lot of resources at the beginning part. And for the rest of the game, they could be at first or whatever. I was thinking maybe it'd be first because of the close quarters. It might be more fit for RE1, but or maybe third or switch between. Where they should choose third or first, RE1 had the best camera angles, and it'd be really cool if they incorporated like some fixed camera moments maybe, or like creative ways of forcing the player to look in a certain angle. That'd be interesting. As for the RE0 bits, probably keep partner switching, that was good. They really just need to streamline that game for the best parts, whether it's part of one or DLC. So anyway, that's it for my thoughts on possibilities for upcoming Resident Evil remakes. Thank you to anyone who likes, comments, or subscribes. That's it.